precinct from March 9th, 1948. Patrolman Julius Morrill was shot and killed when he took police action with the perpetrator in the performance of duty. The details of this incident are as follows. On Tuesday, March 9th, 1948, at approximately 4:20 to 4:30 hours, Patrolman Julius Morrill, the 34th Precinct, was walking his beat in an area that had recently been plagued with numerous burglaries. Today, we know it as Sector Boy, within the 34th Precinct. While walking his post, the patrolman observed a suspicious white male near the cellar entrance of 714 West 181 Street. This location was a jewelry store and an apartment building. When the patrolman approached, the perpetrator ran down the cellar stairs. Patrolman Morrill drew his service revolver, flashlight, and followed the perpetrator into the downward staircase of the location. As Patrolman Morrill descended the stairs, the perpetrator, who was laying in wait and out of sight at the bottom of the staircase, grabbed Patrolman Morrill's service revolver from him, gained control of it, and fired one shot at Patrolman Morrill, striking him in the throat and mortally wounding Patrolman Morrill. Patrolman Edward Sullivan, on meal at 4259 Broadway, Bickford's Restaurant, which is now the current McDonald's, responded and observed Patrolman Jacob Zuckerman, 32 years of age, lying on the sidewalk in front of the location of occurrence. Patrolman Zuckerman, who was walking an adjoining footpost and had heard the gunshots, responded to the location on West 180th Street. Patrolman Jacob Zuckerman was himself then struck by gunfire fired by the perpetrator with the stolen service revolver of Patrolman Morrill. He was struck 3 times in his chest, his stomach, and his left arm. Patrolman Edward Sullivan responded, removed his uniform overcoat, and placed it under the head of Patrolman Jacob Zuckerman, who was lying on the sidewalk wounded. Patrolman Edward Sullivan then ran across the street to the Coliseum Theater on West 181st Street to signal box number 19 and called for assistance. Patrolman Sullivan then entered the downward staircase of 714 West 181 Street, where he discovered Patrolman Julius Morrill mortally wounded. The perpetrator had fled the location on foot with Patrolman Morrill's service revolver. Wounded, Patrolman Jacob Zuckerman, although shot 3 times, was able to fire 5 rounds at the perpetrator, striking the perpetrator once in the rear leg area, exiting through the perpetrator's testicles. The perpetrator, Hugh Coughlin, wounded at this point, was able to escape but was later apprehended. The perpetrator was charged with murder. Detectives believe that Patrolman Morrill was following the perpetrator, Hugh Coughlin, on the hunch that Coughlin was a petty theft who had been rifling coin boxes of apartment buildings' washing machines. The perpetrator, Hugh Coughlin, a white male, Irish immigrant, 22 years of age, residing at 1423 St. Nicholas Avenue, and an unemployed restaurant worker, was captured by detectives on March 9th, 1948 at 8:15 p.m., approximately 16 hours after the incident. Patrolman Morrill's service revolver was subsequently recovered under a couch in the perpetrator's sister's apartment. He was charged with murder and subsequently convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 35 years to life by Judge Saul Strait. Then NYPD Police Commissioner Arthur Wallander described the perpetrator as, quote, a mad killer. Patrolman Julius Morrill was posthumously awarded the New York City Police Department Medal of Honor for his actions. The biographical information on the day of incident: Patrolman Julius Morrill was assigned to the 34th Precinct at the time of incident. His tour of duty was 12:01 a.m. to 8 a.m., midnight tour. His assignment was Patrol Post 34 and 35, covering Fort Washington Avenue from West 165th Street to West 181st Street. His shield number is 10786. His date of birth was June 2nd, 1921. His date of entry into the NYPD was December 19th, 1945. His line of duty death, March 9th of 1948. At the time of incident, Patrolman Morrill was 26 years of age. His home of address at the time of incident was 2043 Washington Avenue, Bronx, New York, confines of the 4A precinct. Social status, married to Miss Ann Morell. 2 children at time of incident, Michael, 2.5 years old, Robert, 1.5 years old. Patrolman Morell is a United States Navy veteran of World War II, prior to service with the NYPD. He enlisted on January 1st, 1942, and entered service with the United States Navy Reserves on November 24th, 1942. His military duty stations and area of operations, starting with the Naval Reserve Center, New York, then transiting to Naval Construction Training Center, Williamsburg, Virginia, then being assigned to 6th Special Naval Construction Battalion, now known as the Seabees. Service in World War II, some of the most historic battles: Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands; Vella La Vella, Solomon Islands; Bougainville, territory of New Guinea; Russell Islands, Solomon Islands. Then after World War II, returning to Shoemaker, California. Assigned to Naval Construction Training Center, Davisville in Rhode Island. His final duty station and discharge from United States Navy Station, Boston, Massachusetts. Military rank at the time of discharge, Seaman, First Class, United States Navy, E3. Military serial number 709-7034. Military awards and decorations include World War II Victory Medal, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, American Campaign Medal, also known as the American Area Ribbon, and also accumulated Navy Advance Awards point system. He was honorably discharged from the United States Navy on November 17, 1945. Total military service, 2 years, 11 months, and 24 days. Patrolman Julius Murillo is interred at Montefiore Cemetery, formerly known as the Old Montefiore Cemetery, located in Springfield Gardens, Queens, New York.